Alright, welcome to this episode of VAG. I'm Jerry Terrifying, and this is for the garage sale week of May 7th to. Actually, let me check. I just checked, but I forgot because I started speaking to the camera. May 7th to May 9th. That is a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday. And I'm upgrading my shit. I got my notes here on my Galaxy tablet. This is actually, it's cool to have a tablet and all. But the primary reason I got this is to use as a secondary preview monitor for the Canon T5i that I'm buying tonight, because I have all the cash needed and saved all my pennies up, got my tax check. There's a lot of pennies towards it. Pretty excited because I can also use my tablet for other things in the show, like a teleprompter if I ever wanted to do that, which I may. And as I'm doing today, to keep a bunch of things in order so I know what to talk about, when to talk about. This week, I recorded every garage sale I went to. And naturally, I didn't find anything as cool as a Sega Genesis, an Atari 2600, heavy sixer, the very first Atari, which my gut told me it was a heavy sixer because it was pretty heavy. And but when I looked it up, the way you tell is you look at where it was made and what year. So the first year, 1977, and they're made in California. Those are the heavy sixers. And it has heavy RF shielding, which I did see some pretty thick RF shielding when I opened that thing up to check for critters and clean it out. But I didn't find anything as amazing as that. So what we're going to do is, and I feel this is important for anyone that wants to get into garage sailing, to see the misses as well as the hits. The hits are exciting. Finding a 2600 for $20, pretty cool, because they go for like $50 online, and everybody, even at the garage sales, is starting to price shit online, which it's not how you have a garage sale. Garage sales, just, you got shit in your house, you want someone to come and get this shit for you, and they give you a little bit of cash for the privilege of hauling away your shit you don't want anymore. It's a beautiful system, and it's a shame people are fucking with it by going and looking at eBay and Amazon the night before. If you want to sell shit on eBay and Amazon, I'm going to say it. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it a million more. If you want to sell your shit online, sell it online. Don't waste your time dragging shit out in your driveway. But I filmed all the hits, and I filmed all the misses. There's a lot more misses in this episode. But I got my notes here so that I can talk about them in order. And I'm going to show you the highlights. Well, actually, I'm going to show you the highlights of those spectacular misses and celebrate the victories. So the first sale, which we'll be looking at right here, it was weird. Saw no one. This is right around the corner from my house. And followed the signs. They missed a corner, and I think there was someone in a car ahead of me that was looking, but I knew where the street was. And they had signs from the main roads pointing into the neighborhood it was in, but they didn't have a very crucial left turn sign so that you could get, a few houses down and then turn right onto the actual street. So I saw the lady in the car ahead of me was stopped at that intersection looking around, and I was like, this chowderhead doesn't know where the avenue is. So she kept sailing, and I made my way over to the sale. Now, the sale was weird. There was a sign on the street saying sale here, but it was around the back. So it started on the side of the house, wrapped around the back. And then on their back patio, they had a line of just like tons of clothes. There's lots of mugs. There's a sign that was like, there's 55 mugs. And I was like, okay, that's interesting, I suppose. And not a person in sight. Whoever's running the sale was inside. So it was a little spooky. It's mostly old lady junk. And so I took off to the next sale. The second sale, I was getting ready to, I didn't have a lot of time. I woke up too late. I started at like 1 p.m. and maybe 2 p.m. I started pretty late in the day. So I was like, well, I'll just do some, I got a little bit of time. It's Thursday. I'll do an hour. And it's late, but we'll see what we see. And I was getting ready to give up. And I was like, well, I'm going to go up to this next main road. check down those neighborhoods, and at that big intersection on that next big road, there was garage sale signs. So on this road, about a little more than a quarter miles length, there was 3 garage sales. 2 of them were right at the next big intersection on that road. And so I parked my car around the corner and walked over to the first one. At the first one, I saw a stack of Xbox games about like this. And there were some good ones in there. There's the first Splinter Cell, which, if you know anything about soft modding in Xbox, is an extremely handy game to have because you need a copy of. There's like 3 games. I personally use Splinter Cell as the cheapest and easiest one for me to find. Like when I was first soft modding Xboxes, I found that day for like a few bucks at the used game store up the street. So it's a handy thing to have, but I already have it. There's a couple other games. I don't remember what they were off the top of my head. I don't think you see it on the video because my camera works atrocious. I just hold my phone down by my side and walk around. I'm mostly interested in capturing the audio, but if I can casually, swing the phone around and get something, I try to. But I think I'm going to make, this week, I'm going to make a conscious effort of getting things on video because I'm making videos. So wouldn't it be nice if you could see the shit right here? So I walk up and I'm going through the stack of games, and then she's got 2 consoles sitting on the table. She has an original Xbox with the dongle for the DVD remote and the DVD remote. She had a GameCube. I'm like, how much you asking for the GameCube and Xbox? How much you asking on the Xbox and GameCube?
I've got 30 on the Xbox, and I'll take 25 on the GameCube.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And she's asking 30 for the Xbox. Nope. And she's asking 25 for the GameCube. Nope. I've got like 4 GameCubes, and I'm not going to pay more than $15 for a GameCube. And because I have so many GameCubes, I'm not going to pay $15 for a GameCube either. If it was like 10, or if it's somewhere in the ballpark, like even if I talked her down to $15, I wouldn't have taken it. Which isn't true anymore. I was talking to my good friend Kyle. He wanted the hook up on a Super Nintendo, an N64, and a GameCube. I was like, well, I'm doing garage selling this year, like hard. I'm going every weekend. And if I see these items, what's your price? So he's willing to go $20. I could have talked her down to 15 or $20 on that GameCube. I mean, start waving those dollars in people's faces and they start getting ready to sell. So I was like, okay, thank you, and went away because it was too rich for my blood. Third sale, first blood. I walked back down to the corner, cross street, hit up the next sale. It was sitting caddy corner to the one with the GameCube. So I get across the street and I'm looking around. Their whole yard's full of stuff, and I'm not seeing anything like any electronics, any video games. They look like an older couple that if they had kids, they moved out, 10, 15, 20 years ago, however long. And I'm looking around, couldn't find nothing. Couldn't find anything. And before I go, hey, excuse me, do you have any old video games, any new video games? Which I don't say that, but I'm going to start saying that because I've learned, and I can believe that this would be true, that if you say old video games, they'll be like, no, don't have any of those, but they won't elect to give you the information that, well, but we do have a bunch of new video games. So I think I'm going to throw that into my repertoire of shit I say. But anyway, I'm like, hey, you got any video games? And the guy was like, no, I'm sorry, nothing like that. And then the lady was like, oh, yeah, we do. I saw it over here in the box. So I was like, oh. And she's like, what kind of video games? I'm like, oh, anything. Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, anything. Do you have anything like any old video games?
Like what, too? Yeah.
Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, anything?
I'm in the top one somewhere. Somewhere in here. I know I ran across the game. Oh man, why do I do that when I'm busy? Like,
There is a PS PlayStation game somewhere. Here it is. Nintendo.
How much you asking on it?
Mike? Where'd you go, Mike? Mike? He knows.
How much you asking on this game?
$3.
$3?
Yeah, I'll throw down $3 on that.
Find a copy of Super Monkey Ball, which is actually a game I want. Now, I did make a rookie mistake on this sale. I was like, how much you want for the Super Monkey Ball? He's like, well, $3. I was like, oh shit, $3. I'll pay $3 for Monkey Ball. But I only had 2 on me, right? I had 2 singles and 5s and bigger bills and shit. And I was like, you got change for a 5. There's where I fucked up. I should have just taken the $2 and said, would you take 2 for it? And, cause, you know, most people would be like, yeah, sure. Okay. So there's where I fucked up. I didn't try to talk him down on Super Monkey Ball, but I was okay with it. The disc is actually, I did check it. It's got the manuals and shit. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a GameCube launch title. And I was like, yeah, I like the Nintendo GameCube manuals because they got these big, colorful manuals. But this shit's in black and white. So maybe it's just Sega being cheap at the time. But the disc is in good condition. You probably can't see that, you know, if I got all up close. But the disc is beautiful. And, you know, it's a good acquisition. So, third sale, first blood, Super Monkey Ball, $3. Fucked up, didn't try to haggle. Haggling is something I want to get better at. A lot of times I don't think about it. The sale before this, I should have bought Super Mario Brothers 3. I could have flipped that on Amazon and paid for more than half of the shit I obtained in that outing. What are you going to do? The fourth sale, there was a sign on the same street as this sale. It's like, garage sale this way. So I start tooting down the lane, and man, I go like at least a mile or so. It's like, well, shit, I didn't see it. So I turn around and go back, and then I noticed there's a little old lady sitting in a garage, and there's no sign in front of her house. There's like one box, like 2 boxes maybe in her driveway, then some stuff in the garage, and this weird little old lady with like a apron for money, and she's just sitting in there, and just kind of spooked me out. And I actually saw her the next day, like she hadn't even moved since I went in there. So we'll check out the video of that. You wouldn't happen to have anything like any video games hiding around, would you? Not that. All right. Well, thank you. And try not to get too spooked. I know we got super spooky Alfonso over here, but I don't want to spook anyone out too bad. But this lady, whew. Yeah, the next, I bet she's still sitting in that garage with the little denim button-down shirt and the Lowe's apron full of like dollar bills. That was a weird one. And then there's one more sale I checked out that day, and I roll up on the garage sale, and it's a mom and like a million of her children running around and being fidgety. It's like, you have any old video games? And she's like, no, nothing like that. But you know, I wouldn't mind having a Nintendo or an Atari 2600 because me and my brothers used to play that. I was like, oh, really? Last weekend, I've told this story like at a million garage sales since. It's like, yeah, last weekend, I picked up a 2600. I'm pointing at it. It's sitting in a box behind me. It's like, yeah. No, I was like, yeah, I got a 2600 last weekend. Oh, really? Where at? Do you have anything like any old video games?
I don't.
Nothing. All right.
Nothing. No. I would kill for an old set of Atari games in a system, though.
You would? Just grabbed myself an Atari 2600 last weekend.
Did you really? Where at?
Uh,
Nice.
$20 wasn't bad.
Yep, I grew up on Atari, and the very first Nintendo, I remember my brothers and I got one, and that was our world.
Bullshitted for a minute. It's like, well, you ain't got what I'm looking for, lady, so I'm fucking out of here. And that was the first day, so that's what we got. And it's not all I got, but it's not far from it. So day two, I pretty much hit the same route. There's, in my town, 4 streets that run north and south the entire length of the town. So I whipped my way back and forth in a little grid pattern, hitting the major intersections, looking for garage sale signs. There's a couple neighborhoods I checked out. Actually, I forgot to put this on my notes. I was getting ready to talk about the first garage sale I found. I went over to my brother's neighborhood, and it's a little ritzier, and I found a garage sale sign. It's like, garage sale this way. It's like, all right, here we go. I go down, all the way down, and it's like a U-shaped street. And I just keep going forever, and I'm going like, 15, 20 miles per hour. Probably looking real creepy. It's probably looking a little weird to the residents, some guy lurching down the street. And like, this is one of those neighborhoods where there's not any through traffic. The only reason you're back in this plat is to be at the houses in the plat, So I'm driving, I'm looking, I got my old beater, and it's a little nicer area of town. I just got my old beat up, car lurching down the lane, and looking feverishly, and don't see shit. And I come back out to the main street. It was like a big U-shaped street, and there was a sign that said garage sale this way. So I don't know if someone's fucking with me or if someone set up decoy garage sale signs so that they can do the maximum sharking while chowderheads like me are on a wild goose chase, getting sent on dummy missions. So chalked up that neighborhood. Those are the only garage sale signs I saw. Didn't see the sale. Maybe they put it up a day early. Maybe they're going to have their sale Friday. I don't know. So I make my way to this other neighborhood, whatever. And I drove past this garage sale too until I turned around, and then I saw it. And if you're going to have a garage sale, put a sign in front of your house saying sale here, especially if you don't have a bunch of shit in your driveway. Like if it's up in the garage, I may not see it in your dark, dank ass garage. So there's like one table with it's just all baby stuff. And I don't know if the lady was setting up when I first drove by or what, but I managed to get out a little bit earlier on the Friday sales. Do you have anything like any old video games?
It's all baby stuff.
All baby stuff?
Yep.
Well, I don't think I'm into yoga yabba.
Sorry.
Thanks. So I get up like, yeah, you got any video games? Like, nah, just baby stuff. And there's like a Yo Gabba Gabba DVD. So it's like, okay, thank you. And then we made it on to the next thing. So the next sale I find, like I combed the whole damn town, and it's all the way I live on the south side of town. This is all the way up north. I made it all the way up there. Saw a couple garage sale signs. And the sale I get to up there, there's a couple of guys in a like glass company truck, like window repair guys, like they'll put in a new window in your house or some shit. I don't know. They're there, they're rooting around. I'm like, shouldn't these guys be working with their work truck? I don't know, it's a little weird. So I'm like, okay, you got any video games? And sweet old lady just waiting to talk to people. She points me to where the games are, and
we cleaned out our big entertainment center. All this crap was inside it, and we had no place to put it. So we've sold, that was clear full. We sold 25 cents a piece. We're getting rid of those.
Do you have any old video games by any chance?
Video games, like
Well, anything, Nintendo.
I have that. I think of one. I got 2 Xboxes, and the rest are PlayStations. I sold. One girl took an arm loader. I had a container, one of those zippered things that was clear full.
I guess I got here too late.
Yeah, I thought, oh, I'm still going to have those. These were my grandsons, and they're not around anymore, so I'm not keeping them.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you stopping.
Like, I'd seen a Dreamcast game. It was like a Dreamcast football game. I was like, you got any more video games? He's like, yeah, we got a couple over here. And there was some Xbox and PS2 sports ball. And I was looking through them, and she's like, yeah, a lady just came by about an hour ago and bought a whole big CD book full of games. And when I hear CD book of games, I think either PS1 or Dreamcast. And I had just seen a Dreamcast sports ball game. And it's probably just my own experience where, you know, if you see a bunch of Dreamcast games, there's like always a shit ton of burnt games in a CD book. That's just my experience. And a lot of people put PS1 games in those types of cases. I don't know why, but that's what I typically see. And so I was like, ah, damn, there's probably a bunch of cool shit. Oh, well. And so I took off. The third sale, looked around, saw a bunch of old computer stuff, like some old DVD ROMs and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, we might have someone who's interested in electronics here. So I'm looking around and don't see anything game related. Work my way into the garage and I see a stack of games. Like, hey, you got any more games? And no, the only thing they had there was Vice City. I've got Vice City. Who the hell doesn't have Vice City? Sports ball and Vice City. That seems to be the most common thing I see is Vice City. I see that thing everywhere. So the last sale of the day, those guys with the work truck, they're working the same neighborhood as I am. I don't know what they were looking for. They were looking at some like airsoft rifles or BB guns or something at this next sale, but they showed up to the same sale, so we were doing the same thing that afternoon. And what I like on the street corner, there was a DDR mat for the PS2 with the box sitting there. So I'm like, oh, they got video games here. And I'm poking around. I see a couple like third-party controllers. There was a multi-tap for the PS2, and I thought about offering a couple bucks for it, but I was like, oh, well, one, I only know one person who'll play video games with me, so I don't need a multi-tap in most cases, unless we're talking about Bomberman and I can talk a few other people into playing. Like Bomberman, you can get people to play, so multi-tap would help. And I'm sure there are Bomberman games on PS2, but you know, when you got Saturn Bomberman and Bomberman 94, like, who gives a shit? But there was a PS2 multi-tap and a memory card in it. And I bet they had that shit for their, like, stacks of Madden games. I bet that's what the multi-tap was for. So I look around and ask if they have any other video game stuff besides what I see. And a lady points me towards a stack of DVD cases, Vice City and Sports Ball. And then there's two loose games, and this is where I made my second acquisition. And I'm gonna grab that right now. Do you have any other video game stuff besides what's sitting out?
I think there's a couple.
There's a remote on this
I've
side.
seen a controller, a multi-tap, a Dance Dance Revolution pad.
Come on,
Come
Dance
on.
Dance Revolution? Bam!
There's some games, and there's an Xbox gun, and
I totally missed these.
see?
I know. You can try $20 off. Okay. What was I thinking?
Yes.
Would you take a
Not a
take
problem.
$1 for this because it's loose? Wow, there's no case to look nice and sexy on my shelf. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it. There's a couple of games sitting in these cases, a couple of loose games, and I picked up Destroy All Humans 2. Now it's got an asking price of $2, but I was like, well, you take $1 because it's loose, and she just like looked at me like, ugh. And I think she's just fucking with me. I think she's just, you know, being cute or whatever. And it's like, well, I mean, it's loose. Like, I don't have a case for it to look sexy on my big shelf of shit, which is like 98% of the battle right there. It's having an impressive collection to talk in front of. So she's like, yeah, I'll do $1. So this is the second video game I managed to get last week at the garage sales. And that was it for the day. I had to go home, get ready for work. The next day, I was out where my girlfriend lives, and I was hitting up some garage sales. And she had stuff to do that morning, so I was out solo again. And the first garage sale I find, walk up to him, look around, don't see any video games. Like, hey, you have anything like any old video games? It's like, well, I just sold a Nintendo and an old Sega and all sorts of games. The guy done bought them all. And I was like, fuck. And the guy's like, yeah, he just found an Atari, the original one. And I'm going to play the whole clip for you to listen to, but you have anything like any old video games?
Sold them.
Sold them?
Yeah, had the controllers and all kinds of stuff.
What'd you have?
Segas and I think it was Nintendo stuff.
Oh shit, looks like I got here too late. Found something to complain about.
Guy bought every damn one of them. He said he collects the old machines. He said he's got one of the original Ataris that came out.
I got an original Atari last weekend.
Did you?
Yeah,
What'd it go for?
$20.
Wow. I thought they were selling for more than that.
Well, that's as much as I was willing to pay. $20 is my.
Is that the Pong one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what he was talking
Yeah.
about. He said he had the original one of those. And he said any of the games that came on after that, he got them all, he said. So he buys up all that.
Yeah.
He said he don't sell it. That's what he
Well,
collects.
I guess I'm a little less angry about things. It's the resellers that bug me. They go out to the garage sale.
Yeah,
price
he said
and
he don't
resell.
resell. That's his collection.
Yeah. So I do the same
We
thing.
had
I collect.
Sega games and stuff. He bought all those up. I had controllers. He bought all those up
How long ago did this happen?
yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
we got it right here on this table.
Well, thanks.
All the video games and stuff, controllers. All right, you have a good day.
You too, sir. I was like, yeah, shit, I found one last week. It's like, really? How much? And it's like $20. So don't they go for more online? It's like, yeah, but I didn't buy it online, asshole. I bought it at a garage sale in someone's filthy ass fucking dirt encrusted box in their driveway. I didn't buy it online. I bought it at a garage sale. So I paid garage sale prices. And and then he's talking, it's like, what's it, like the all-in-one? And I guess he's talking about a plug and play. But at the time, I was already done with the garage sale and ready to go. And he kept talking about the guy. I was like, yeah, he buys it for his collection. He bought it all for himself. And he's a collector and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I guess I'm not too upset if he's a collector and not a reseller. But who are we kidding? He bought all of it. Did he buy your shitty sports ball games too? It's probably a fucking reseller. Like, I'm not so much a collector as I am a person who buys things that I like to play. I would like to play Destroy All Humans too. It looks like a fun game. I've always wanted to play Super Monkey Ball 2. And for the low price of $4 for the pair, I mean, I'll do that shit. But like, it's torture asking what they sold, because a Sega what? Probably a Genesis. Well, that's like the coolest Sega thing next to the Saturn. So, like, what kind of Sega stuff did this bozo get? You know, like, I'm really wanting to know, and it kills me that I don't. So the second sale, I pull up and there's Guitar Hero controllers by the street. So I'm looking around, I see a couple, like, they had a shitload of things, Hero Clicks. It's like a tabletop gaming with like Marvel Heroes or some shit, I don't know. They had tons of those, and they're like 3 shoe boxes just loaded with them. And so I'm like, all right, like, there's some definite nerdular activities taking place on these premises. So I'm looking around, I think I see a few other bits and bobbles that are video game nerd related. I was like, you have any? Ask her. She's like, oh yeah, I got a whole ton of stuff in the basement. I was like, oh yeah, like what? And I was like, well, I'm going to be having garage sales all summer. If you see my sign out, stop by. It's like, well, I'm standing here right now with a pocket full of cash, ma'am. Would you like to exchange some of this for your shit you don't care about? And she's like, well, it's all in the basement. It's like, well, what do you have? Well, I can't bring it all out. That's not what I asked. I asked you what you got. Is it worth my time coming back? Or is it a bunch of fucking V-smile bleep frog baby shit? Like, you give me the information, I can make an informed choice. So I think she was just giving me the runaround and wanting me to come back to her garage sale so she could, like, look at this beautiful man some more. But that was just kind of pissing me off. There's a few other old PC CD-ROMs there, but lady, that ain't the question I asked. I didn't ask, will you go down and get it right now? I said, what do you have? Pretty simple question. And just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a prick. I don't know. But I didn't like it. Like, you know, she could have been like, yeah, I got a Nintendo. I was like, okay, I'll come back. Or, you know, I'll try my luck in the future. I'll make sure to hit this garage sale first every week. If I know you got some shit I want, I'll be here at 8 a.m. every fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday until I hit pay dirt. But she wouldn't budge off her knowledge of her secret Nazi treasures in her fucking magical basement, so. Do you have any video game stuff besides the Guitar Hero controllers?
Well, I've got these pedal things in here. I know it's older though. It's kind of set up for older monitor. And then I got some of this. And I got the DVDs in here. For gaming stuff.
Yeah.
I got the
Anything you
HeroClix
got.
stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Well,
I do have a lot more stuff. I just haven't brought it up. I have tons of stuff. I'm going to be having these throughout the whole summer. If you ever see my signs up, feel free to
well, what
stop
kind
in.
of stuff do you have?
Uh,
Ooh, what do you got?
I know.
Well, I'm here right now. What do you got?
I can't go downstairs and get it all and dig for them. So
Alright.
I have 2 rooms full of stuff.
Fireplace thing?
Yeah, it's 50.
Alright, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
And then a couple other people asked about a couple other things, and she's asking too much and everybody's leaving. I don't think she's a good garage sailor. And then the last sale I hit, I didn't see shit, asked, no video games, and I was walking down to the street to get in my car, and I was waiting for some traffic to go by, and you know, leaving garage sales can be a tricky proposition. You got all these jokers driving slow from every direction trying to park. So I'm standing there for a minute waiting for the shit to clear so I can get to my car. And I hear one of the other people there, this older couple, and it's like, oh, Mortal Kombat and Johnny Cage. I was like, what? That's video game shit. But it's like, fuck it. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to go run up on them and ask. I didn't see anything sitting out. It might have been Mortal Kombat the movie. But it's like, well, that's kind of shitty. So, I don't know if there's a lesson to learn there. Like, maybe people don't know what they have. But I looked, and she said she didn't have any video game shit. It may have been the movie. But that kind of irked me, too. At that point, I kind of don't want to do business with you. I don't know why. But do you have any old video game stuff?
No.
Nothing.
You shake it up and the letters fall, and then you try to make as many words out of those letters as you can.
This is what we got last weekend at the garage sales. It's not a lot. Calm down, ladyhead. It's just video games. It's not a lot, but I didn't pay a lot either. And these are games I wanted to play. Would like to have a case for this, but, you know, I guess I can live with that. You know, I guess that'll do it for the time being. I've never actually played any of the Destroy All Humans games, so I'm curious to see if I like it. If I like it, who knows, maybe I'll upgrade and get one at the case, give this one away or trade or something. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Super Monkey Ball. Let me know what you think about Destroy All Humans. Let me know what you think about the garage sales. I do think it's important to see the misses as well as the hits, just so you know what you're getting into if you want to dip your toes into the garage sailing scene. You can't just go out one time and expect to get all the treasures your town has to offer. You have to go out every week, and sometimes a little old lady will know that she's got a GameCube game hidden in a box somewhere, and sometimes a little old lady won't know if she's got Mortal Kombats and that's video game related stuff. So I don't know. I assumed it was the movie. I guess the mystery is gonna kill me now. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of VAG. What's that? You don't have a taste for VAG? That's alright. Here at the Terror Dome, we're very accepting of alternative lifestyles. Perhaps one of these other fine videos would be more relevant to your interests.